This is Bob Maloney from MyMMAnews.com, and I am talking to the Thundercat, Rell Hodge, Jarrell Hodge. Jarrell, listen, Jarrell, I love what Jarrell's doing. First, before we even talk about that, Rell, how you doing, man? How you feeling? Great to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. Staying active. I've been fighting a lot this year, and I appreciate this year so much. You know, I've been good, man. I've been blessed so far.
Great. Now listen, Rell is 9-3 in his MMA career, but what I love, what I was saying a few minutes ago was what I love is Rell stays busy. He took a boxing bout. I know he won your first one. He's got another one coming up on Tuesday that we're going to talk. Let's talk about the boxing match right now,
Okay.
and then we'll get into some other stuff. So, talk to me about this, who you're boxing, where you're boxing. Give us some info on this because I'm interested.
Okay, so I don't got a good name of my opponent. I'm sorry. I like go out there and fight. It doesn't matter what your name is, what your record is. But so this boxing match came up, right before my last MMA fight. I was talking to the boxer promoter from Bizarro. He hit me up and was like, "Hey, you want to box?" I say, "I love it. I want to box, but I got this contract already signed with MMA, so I got this fight I got to take care of first. And then, after my fight, hit me up. If I don't get suspended or anything, nothing bad happened, I'm down. So I take the fight." So it was pretty much, we already had this lined up. We was just waiting to see the outcome of my MMA fight, which I already knew what it was going to be. I was going to win regardless.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm not asking for numbers, but,
Okay.
one of the things that a lot of the combat sports world talks about is the money. Okay. You see, like when Mayweather fights or the big guys fight, and they're making a lot of money compared to, what UFC fighters are making. For you on the regional scene, we're a little bit lower.
Right.
Is it more, does it put more in your pocket to box or to do an MMA fight?
It put more money in your pocket to me is boxing, because like boxing right now, like it's like a flat rate. Win or lose, you get this money. MMA right now is like, hey, you get this money to show up, and if you win, you get this extra money. So you got to get that win to get that extra money. But MMA, and when boxing is kind of like, hey, regardless win or lose, you'll get this paycheck. So it's kind of more money to me in boxing. And when I got 3 fights in my boxing career so far, and I think, I made more money boxing in these 3 fights than I did in my last. I think I did 4 MMA fights this year. Yeah, so I made more money boxing in my 3 boxing matches I had this year than my 4 MMA fights I had this year.
Yeah. Hey, listen, at the point in your career, you stay busy. Listen, you're trying to make money. Let's talk about it. Let's get into MMA for a couple minutes because you're 9-3. Okay. You fought 2 UFC vets. You took Tony Gravely the distance. Your last fight, you won the championship against a Bellator vet, against Tommy Espinosa. You're 9-3. I mean, I watch a lot of MMA. I mean, I've seen fighters with way less resumes than you fighting on The Ultimate Fighter. I mean, 9-3. I've seen guys on there with 4 or 5 wins. 9-3. To me, on the regional scene, you have proved a ton already. I mean, would that be something you're interested in? So after this, say you win this boxing match, you're healthy. Is The Ultimate Fighter, is that something that that you think that you would love to take a shot at? Well, I'm sorry. When I said The Ultimate Fighter, my bad, because they're doing The Ultimate Fighter House again. What I mean is the Contender Series, Dana White's Contender Series, which there's 2 different now. For some reason, I get them mixed up because The Ultimate Fighter is back. But I meant the Contender Series because you're seeing, like I said, I've seen many fighters who have less resumes than you on there.
I totally agree. Like, yeah, every time they came on Tuesday, I was looking at the guys in my weight class they had on there. And, I Googled them, went on Tapology, looked them up, and I'm looking like, okay, 5-0. Who did he fight? Nobody. So I'm like, okay. So why is, these guys keep fighting nobody, getting these calls up because they got, 5-0 record. They got an O on the end of their record, but they're really not fighting nobody. So I'm like, I talked to my management team, and it was like, you know what? You're much better than the Contender Series. Not dissing anybody on the Contender Series, but I did like saying, like, with your resume and the people you fought, you're much better than the Contender Series because like you're hit or miss. You got to win big to get that contract. If you ain't knocking nobody out or making a spectacular finish or anything like that, they're not gonna give you a contract. So they to like with your record and way you've been fighting people, who you've been fighting, with your resume, you're bigger than Contender Series. You should be straight one more fight and then you there to the UFC type of thing, or bigger show or Bellator or something like that.
I would love to see it because, like I said, with your resume, I mean, 9-3, and you have quality wins and quality opponents. I was, going over and looking at, the records of the guys you fought, and you haven't had it easy. I mean, you fought. You'll fight anybody. And when you look at this guy's resume, go on to Tapology and look up the Thundercat Rell Hodge, and you can see, damn, this dude's 9-3. This is a quality record. He's fought quality opponents, and I'd love to see you get your opportunity. Now, let's talk about, holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving's, the week of your fight, so that's nice. You get to have your boxing match, so you don't got to really. You can eat on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Then we're going to get through Christmas, and we're going to pop into the new year, 2022. Tell me what will be good for you for 2022. Would you rather get a bunch of boxing matches, or would you rather get that opportunity to go to the UFC?
You know what? I love boxing. I love competing. I love fighting regardless. Anything, jiu-jitsu, boxing, MMA. I'll fight somebody in the street, if I don't get in trouble. I love to fight. So I really like MMA. I'm a mixed martial artist at heart. I like to mix everything up from knees, elbows, kicks. I love boxing, but I'd rather do, more MMA fights next year. And, if a boxing match come along, I'll take it, because I love to fight, but I'd rather make it big in MMA.
Awesome. I'm rooting for you. Give some shout outs to your team, your coaches, training partners, any sponsors. Give some love out, Rell, because like I said, man, it's such a lonely sport when you're in there, but you need all that support all before and after.
Hey, most definitely. I totally agree, because without my coaches or my woman, my wife, I wouldn't, be where I'm at right now, because they always give me love and support every day. She's there cooking for me, healthy meals. My coach over there pushing me, texting me every morning, like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? I'm like, bro, I'm feeling good. Quit texting me. But every morning he stay on it. He texts me, how you doing? How you feeling? So, you need those people around you, and I like to shout those people out. So Alexandria Stewart, my future wife, Dave Graff, my coach, he had me ready all this year. And my team at Next Level, my team at Aries. Couple of my big sponsors, HKA, Rudis, I'm trying to get them on board right here, wrestling squad. And pretty much that's it, I'd like to shout you out thank you for having me so late, man. Thank you for staying up.
Hey, man, no problem. Rell, one more thing. Yep. What's the difference for you between a training camp for a MMA fight and boxing? Now, don't get me wrong. I know, you're only practicing boxing, but as far as any other nuances or anything major differences between the camps?
You know what? Yeah, I see this a lot. When I'm boxing, I'm not really worried about anything, other than just punches. Like, I can do a move where I want to move, go down low. Don't worry about nobody shooting in on my legs when I'm overextending with a shot or something like that, like a 1-2 in too deep. So it's with boxing, I don't feel like I'm that worried about anything like I am with MMA, because you got so many more weapons in MMA with elbows and people shooting on you and flying knees. You can't dip down too low. And if your hands come down, they throw a kick, you out. So, training for boxing is just so much to me. I mean, I love boxing, but it's so much easier to me in boxing than MMA.
So it's less complicated, basically, the camp is.
Less complicated, yeah. I mean, it has this, your strategies, like every sport, you got strategies you got to work on, but to me, it's so much easier. But I love MMA, I love to throw elbows. Oh man, I love elbows.
Hey, listen, you got to bring that beautiful violence when you're in the cage or the ring. And once again, I'm Rell Thundercat Hodge, 9-3 MMA. He's got a boxing bout coming up on Tuesday. 2022, we're going to see this guy. We're going to see him win a Contender Series. Or, hey, listen, like you said, I'd love to see you get that contract and get in there. You're an exciting fighter. Like I said, he fights everybody. He'll take anybody on. Get short notice. He don't care. Rell, man, it was great to see you. Good to see your handsome face again. And,
Thank you.
Come on, man. Come on, I appreciate you giving us some time. I know it's a short week for you, and I appreciate following your journey. I know you work hard. Coach Dave is always your coach Dave is always hitting me up. Him and I talk a lot. He's a great dude, and I know he thinks highly of you, and he works hard for you too, man. He's a good
Yeah,
dude. So,
most
Rell
definitely.
Hodge, write the name down. The Thundercat. He brings the heat, and 2022 is going to be a big year for you, man. I can feel it, my man.
Appreciate it. Most definitely. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Thank you, Bob. Most definitely.